Okay. Is this a test or we?
No,
No, this is live, no? Cool. Okay, guys, it looks like we're ready to rock and roll. Hold on to your seats. Got a little intro video to play and then we'll begin. Everyone's cell phones are off? Okay. No faffing with phones during the presentation, eh? This is like school class. We're going to be discussing something very important. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. My name's Rob van der Bijl. Welcome to everyone who's finally tuned into our live stream. I apologize for the inconvenience. We've had a bit of technical difficulty this week with our little box in the corner there. But nonetheless, thank you for making it out to DuePoint. Before we begin, I remind our wealth engineers, 71 days of Spring Vision left. If you don't know what Spring Vision is, go back a couple of weeks, watch the Spring Vision Dev Seminar that Brendan did. And that'll serve as a reminder of the motivation that you need. We want to see our wealth engineers double their business during the month or during the next 90 days, the next 3 months of spring. All right, so you're at DuePoint's head office. We're a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. They've been around for nearly 70 years. That's their building in the background, their little orange logo. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. In the foyer above our water cooler, you'll notice we've got all our FSP licenses on display. So we've got an FSP license, we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, and we've got our accreditation at the Direct Marketing and the Direct Selling Associations. We take credibility very seriously here at DuePoint. It is obviously a fundamental kind of checkbox that needs to be ticked when you guys are looking at any proposed business solution, that you find the business that you're going to be dealing with to be credible. So I hope all our licensing, our FSB regulation serves that purpose. We're actually listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital, so you're welcome to do a background check on us. These are the executives and the senior managers here at DuePoint. The 3 individuals on the far left are all registered chartered accountants in South Africa, starting with Brendan. He's our senior executive. He heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance. His family have been involved in insurance his entire life. His father founded Clientele Life. His father's a professor of insurance, taught at Wits for 25 years. Brendan and his brother Stuart are both involved in financial services. Together they founded another business called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, which is based down the road from us, very successful short-term insurer. We've got Tim Reynolds, very experienced in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for a decade and a half, a fairly senior position. He heads up our auditing, the regulatory and the financial aspects of our business. Stacey, a lot of experience in auditing. She's been with Deloitte all her working career. She worked locally as well as overseas before she came back and joined our team. The 2 non-accountants over here, Jane and myself. Jane brings a lot of international experience to our business with regards to direct marketing. So even though we're an insurance business, our growth is reliant on our effectiveness in terms of network marketing or referral marketing. And Jane brings that experience with her from the UK. And then myself, I've been working in marketing and advertising all my career. I started a digital agency in the mid-90s and have been involved in digital media and the digital space for over 20 years. And I might touch on why I exited that business. So I walked away from that business without a cent. And I'll touch on why that happened. So these are the individuals here at DuePoint. Our mandate as staff of DuePoint is to support everyone that joins us in this partnership. We want to see you successful and effective in this endeavor because it serves us too. Because as an enterprise, we want to be profitable, and to be profitable, we've got to make sure that our partners are being effective. And so we want to collaborate with you. Everything that we do in this business is to support the people that join us in this partnership. So that's a bit of background on DuePoint and Constantia and the staff. We briefly discussed the driving factors of why people would be interested in a business opportunity, an entrepreneurial opportunity, because I assume that you understand that this is going to require sacrifice of your time to make this additional business in your life work and to be successful at it. And some of the driving factors are mostly negative, because if employment was the answer to all our issues, we wouldn't find ourselves here looking for something extra, right? And so we've got the economy, which is in a dismal state at the moment. You know how many people are unemployed. That number gets quoted on the radio and in the media almost on a daily basis. Unfortunately, the economy is in a recession. So when we so desperately need to be creating jobs, we're not. We're actually going backwards. The economy is shrinking. We're losing and shedding more jobs at the moment. Inflation sitting at 11%. This affects you directly because the cost of living is increasing, by 7% every year. Food inflation is sitting at 11%, which is crazy because food is doubling in price every 8 years at the moment. And you're more likely not to have received a salary increase that's in line with inflation. So I often ask the audience, well, how many people in the audience have gotten a 7% increase in their salaries for the last 7 years running? And no one puts their hand up to that question, right? Because no one gets that. In an economy like ours, companies are trying to survive. They are not thriving. And so if you go ask the boss, he's going to say, the economy, no raises for anyone this year. And so what we find is that your salary actually starts to devalue against the cost of living. And you'll notice it. So on a monthly basis, you'll start to realize that the cost of living is going up, but your salary hasn't gone up, right? And so this gap starts to form between what you're earning and what you need to survive. And so we try to band-aid this gap that's forming with debt, right? So debt comes in all shapes and forms. We afforded it typically the moment you start earning a salary. Little financial institutions and companies will offer you products and services. And you can pretty much take everything out on hire purchase, right? Or take out a loan on anything, whether it's cars or education, personal loans, home loans. You can hire purchase clothes, you can hire purchase food, furniture. You can pay food off today that you ate last year. That's quite a dismal state to be in. And so South Africans are often criticized that we engage too much in debt instruments and products instead of savings and investment products. But when we're in an economy like we're in, when this gap is forming, when we're not getting an increase in line with inflation, well, what else do we do? And so we find ourselves in this position, right? And so what happens is we find ourselves in this debt cycle. And what this debt cycle does is keep our focus on the debt and our personal finance issues that we have in the moment. So this debt cycle will exist month to month, right? And you can reflect on this at the end of the month. So coming up now, some of us might have been paid already. You get one SMS for your income coming in from the bank, and then you get 20 extra SMSs for the debit orders that run off your account, right? And you stress every single month. And then comes to the end of the year, the annual debt cycle becomes apparent to you because the end of the year comes and you're feeling great because you know you're going to take a holiday and it's Christmas and the kids are happy. And January comes, you realize your employer did you a disservice by paying your salary early. And you forgot about the salary arriving early. You're expecting your salary and you don't get it because you already got it. You've got to pay school fees. You've got to pay for new school uniforms and stationery. And we've got all these other costs of traveling and Christmas related. And this annual debt cycle is also something that takes place in our lives. But what happens is it takes our focus off of what's happening for us in future. So in future, we've got this date looming down on us called retirement, right? And if you are responsible enough, and this is some data that was published on the Fin24 website late last year, if you are aware of your situation, or at least responsible and accountable around your situation with regards to retirement, you should be placing money into an investment every single year. Because when you get to retirement, there's no income waiting for you when you get to retirement. And if there's anyone in the audience that can actually rely on a government grant and survive month to month, well, I've got to see that, right? And that's certainly not a dignified retirement. So this was some data that was published on the Fin24 website. It kind of reflects what responsible retirement planning looks like. So to give you an idea, and this might be quite scary because when I looked at it for the first time, it was quite scary for me. So here we've got 3 columns that you see behind me. The first column starts with this one. It says if you've got R1 million in place by the time you retire in an investment, that R1 million investment will pay you out a 5,000 Rand income for 30 years. So if you retire at 60, you get to enjoy 5,000 Rand a month from that R1 million for the next 30 years. And that's what you will survive on once you are retired, right? So I've got 2 questions. Who can live on 5,000 Rand a month once you're retired? But now picture, you've got no more debt. Hopefully you've finished paying the house off and whatever else, and the kids are out the house, so you're not supporting the kids. It's just you and your spouse. Can you survive on 5,000 Rand a month? No, right? But now who is actively saving towards R1 million for their retirement at the moment? Do you see the problem? 98% of South Africans will get to retirement financially dependent on other people. You will get to retirement, your boss will say, thank you for your 45 years of work with us. We'll give you a little party and then send you on your way, right? And you don't have an income at the end of the month. Now you have to, you're forced to rely on the investment that you've made, or suddenly you're out with the 9.3 million unemployed people looking for another job at the age of 60 desperately. You're forced to downscale your lifestyle to such a degree that you can afford to live on whatever you've made provision for, or on a government grant. And this is certainly not a dignified retirement. And you're sitting here today, Wednesday, lunchtime, in a business presentation where we're going to be discussing an opportunity for you to move out of this 98% and into the 2%. Our aspiration for you is to retire with dignity, with wealth, right? And this is what we're going to be discussing now. So out of all of this negativity, as a business, as an enterprise, DuePoint saw an opportunity, or should I say Constantia saw an opportunity to create the division DuePoint and the DuePoint system. It allows you, the public, to engage with us, to contract with DuePoint, and to start making a difference to your circumstances. So we have 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers. The first aspiration is to see our wealth engineers become debt-free. Right? So imagine again, at the end of the month, you get an SMS from your employer saying you've got an income that's been put into your bank account. You get another SMS from DuePoint saying we're paying your return at the end of the month, and then no more SMSs. No more debit order SMSs. Wouldn't that be a great position to be in, right? Becoming debt-free. If becoming debt-free is an aspiration for you, it sets you up to be in a position where you can start creating wealth. And you only create wealth if you are creating assets and investments, right? But you first have to pay your debt off, because your debt usually outstrips what any investment can do for you. You go look at it. Go look at what the interest rate is on a debt instrument, and go look at what the interest rate is on an investment. There is huge polarity there, meaning there's a big difference. You're not going to often have investments that outstrip what your debt is. So always your priority is to get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. And when you do those 2 things, get rid of your debt, start looking at assets, building value in investments, number 3 happens. Our third aspiration happens on its own, and that's just to see wealth engineers happier. Not depressed in lunchtime business presentations before they've created any value in what we're going to be speaking about, right? Because that's why we're here. Ultimately, we want to change our circumstances. And in your heart, you're hoping that you're going to hear something today that'll do that for you. So, our guests have the opportunity to join DuePoint. You actually contract with us. When you contract with us, we call you wealth engineers. Very apt title. And as wealth engineers, we only expect one thing from you, and that is for you to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like. And through these channels of distribution, which is really you just introducing people to DuePoint and the business opportunity, we will attempt to place product with the people that you introduce to us, and that is how this business works. It is as simple as that. The benefit for you is you get to create additional income. This is obvious, but the nature of the income that you produce here is one of recurring nature. This is something that's actually inherent to insurance companies. And this is the reason why I left my business after 17 years. Because in my business, we were a service-related business. We had designers, developers, account managers, some admin staff, but really what we were doing is selling time. Just like an electrician, like a hairdresser, like a plumber, like a lawyer, like a doctor. Selling time. Limited to the 8 hours that you want to work in a day. 40 hours a week limitation, right? If I wanted to earn more, I would have to work more. And in my business, for the business to earn more, we would have to employ more people and produce more hours. But it was like this hamster wheel, because at the end of every month, we would start at 0 again. And I'd have to go out and look for all the business, do the business, invoice the business, hope that my clients would pay me. And at the end of the next month, I'd start at 0 again. And I did this for 17 years before I exited the business and walked away really with nothing to show for it. But with the realization, with the knowledge now that this is not the business you want to get in. This is not the type of business that builds wealth, right? I need to start building value in an asset that creates wealth. And this is your opportunity, because recurring income is based off of an asset that you're building. You get to enhance the power of duplication. We build leverage into this DuePoint system that you can take advantage of. So that when I talk about building these channels of distribution, it's your opportunity to go out and find very capable people that will come into the business and help you build your business, right? They're going to be building their own businesses, but at the same time helping you build yours. So if you're limited in time, if you only have an hour to invest in this business a day, but you've got 10 people collaborating with you, each putting in an hour, that's 11 hours being invested into your asset on a daily basis. It is going to grow your asset that much faster, 10 times, tenfold faster than what you could on your own. This is a flexi-time business. Don't make the mistake of thinking you can do this business when you feel like it, when you've got spare time. It doesn't work like that. This is business. This is no different to starting your own company and investing R1 million into it and trying to make it successful. There is no difference. And so if you want to be successful in this endeavor, I don't want to see you one of those people that come into the business, get excited about everything, become wealth engineers, and then I never see you again. So at the end of this presentation, we need the maturity and the accountability to go, right, this is what I'm doing. How does it fit into my life? Because you need to schedule this in a regular fashion into your weekly schedule. DuePoint has to be every Wednesday lunchtime, for example, or every Monday and Tuesday evening, or Saturdays. It doesn't matter what it looks like, but schedule it in regularly so that you can stay accountable to this business that you're growing. There's no startup capital or registration fees. There's no boxes of products that we get you to buy to get involved in this business. It's very, very low risk. There's no qualifications or experience required. This is notable because we work in financial services. So one, we're regulated, and everyone in the financial services industry is regulated by the FASE Act, which is a very onerous piece of regulation. We contract you out of that obligation. You don't have to worry about it. So it doesn't matter whether you have a matric or you don't have a matric, or whether you have a degree or you don't have a degree, whether you have corporate experience or not. This business becomes accessible to everybody. You get to build an asset in this business. So this asset you have legal tender over, right? This is the opposite to employment, because we spend 40, 45 years working for somebody else, building up their asset, spending a lifetime there with nothing to show for it when we get to retirement. You don't get to partake in the upside of the business that you typically work for. Does anyone get a dividend check every quarter from their company? Or profit share? Right? Yeah, exactly. No, no, no. In this business, know that the time that you're investing into this business is into an asset that you own. You can sell it one day. This channel of distribution will have value. You can sell it. We've already had many sales this year of wealth engineers selling their channels of distribution. You can give it to your kids. You can seed it to your beneficiaries if something happens to you. There's no selling involved in our business. We actually contract you out of selling. You're not allowed to sell. You're not allowed to speak about our products. This is a great benefit because it doesn't require selling on your part. All you're going to be doing is going out and telling people about this business opportunity that exists. And that's all you're going to be doing. You don't have to speak about products. The nature of our products, because they're financial, means we don't have stock issues and distribution issues. You don't have to worry about the stock taking up space at home. You don't have to order stock from us. Everything happens in the technology that we've invested in automatically without you even knowing about it. And so we make this business as convenient as possible for people to get involved with. Your success in this business is predicated on your ability to go out and build these channels of distribution. So I'm going to show you what a channel of distribution looks like. It begins with you, the CEO. Can you picture yourself as the CEO? Right? At the end of this presentation, you can phone people and say, I'm the CEO of a business, if you really want to. But it begins with you. You're going to go out and tell people about the business opportunity. If you're successful in that and you get them to come sit through a presentation like this, they might also get excited by the prospects of this business and get involved. And if they take out one of our products, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution, right? Because now you've introduced 5 people into the business. Those 5 people are going to go out and do exactly the same thing you've done. They also want to move from the 98% to the... They're also tired of hearing about the economy, not getting a raise, what inflation is, the cost of food. They want to change their circumstances. And so they're motivated to do exactly the same thing as you. So I implore you to go out and find capable people that are at your peer level, right? Because these 5 people are your board of executives. If you start a company as a CEO, do you just go out into the street and bring anyone in as your board of executives? No, you don't. You go out and you find the most capable people to help you build this business. And they will go out and do the same thing. And this behavior will start duplicating throughout your channel. You'll have this organic growth that takes place. And in a number of years, this is what your channel could look like. You're getting paid for every single dot that you see on the screen every single month because it's recurring income. This is a snapshot of what your asset value looks like in this channel of distribution. So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. This is what you're going to be doing in this business, going out and telling people about a business opportunity. I'll forgive you, so you might not reckon, or you might not know why we've got a picture of a ballerina's feet, but I'll forgive you one time for arriving to this presentation and thinking I've been invited to one of these schemes. Anyone been invited to one of those schemes?
Too many.
Plenty, too many. Okay, there's lots out there, I believe. We're not one of them. We're a 70-year-old insurance company that's listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. We do not smell anything like one of these get-rich-quick schemes. And I know some people are hoping this is a get-rich-quick scheme because you don't want to take long to get rich, you want to take quick to get rich, right? But we're not one of those, unfortunately. We will never promise you success quickly in this business. It does not exist in any aspect of life, to be honest. You have to commit to this business in the long term. So if you've got expectations of being rich in the next 3 months or by December, you're in the wrong place. But if you're willing to partake in the downside of entrepreneurship, which is enduring all the downside, which is the frustration of dealing with people, committing and sacrificing time on a weekly basis into this business, enduring the learning curve of entering into a new industry or a new business or a new company, if you're willing to do all of that and you have a long-term vision of where this business is going to get you, then I'll say you're welcome. You're going to be successful in this business. Okay. So, there are 2 ways to benefit as wealth engineers, or 2 ways to earn, should I say, in this business. The first way is through our returns program. Our returns program is based on the amount of product that you have in your channel, which we pay for every single month, right? So our wealth engineers earn this return at the end of every month. And the second way is through a rewards program. So this explains the returns program, the mechanics behind the returns. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel in this business, right? Remember the first 5 people you introduced to the business? They lie on point 1. They are 1 point away from you. On point 1, we actually pay you double, R27.50. We pay you R55. On the second point, these are friends of friends, right? People your board of executives have invited into the business. On your second point, again, we pay you R55. Point 3, you see it drops back to 100%, and then it starts to drop all the way down to the 8th point. So when your business has grown all the way to the 8th point, from point 8 onwards into infinity, we will pay you that 4% of the R27.50. So what's important to note is that we don't limit you on the size that your channel can get at DuePoint. We don't limit you on the amount of money you can earn at DuePoint. There are no year modes. There are no limitations in this business. The accountability always lies with you, right? So that's the mechanics of the returns. The next question we get is, well, how much money can people earn in this business? Give me an idea. So we built this thing called the Path to Success. It is dependent on a growth model. The growth model says a new wealth engineer can bring 3 people into the business in the first month. So in September, you invite 3 people into the business successfully, and then every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to bring in another 2 people every month. So in October, you're going to bring in another 2. November, another 2. December, another 2. That's 1 every 2 weeks, right? It sounds fairly plausible. If you can follow that growth formula, after 6 months, you can be earning R2,500. Now, I know what people are thinking at R2,500. They're thinking, oh, that number better get bigger if I'm going to stay in this business, right? But let's look a little more closely at R2,500, because we make the mistake of thinking like consumers. When I look at money, if you say to me, here's R2 million, I'm already thinking, what car can I buy with R2 million? If you say to me R2,500, I'm thinking, I saw very nice Nikes on the Superbalist website for R2,700. At least that money can go towards those nice new shoes. Right? We make the mistake of thinking constantly like consumers. I'm going to ask you to start thinking differently about money. I want you to give money future value, because remember, this is recurring income. So here we have an example of someone with debt. Remember our first aspiration, get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. So you do the boring thing of putting the R2,500 into your bond instead of buying new shoes or a handbag with it, right? So yeah, example of a person with a R1 million bond, if they put R2,500 into that bond as an additional payment, they won't take 20 years to pay their bond off. They'll only take 11 and a half years. They save themselves in repayments. Listen to this. R2,500 will save you in repayments on a R1 million bond, R1 million in repayments. Isn't that wild? and you were thinking on the retirement slide, how am I ever going to get to R1 million in my investment? I think if they had to add up all the debt interest that we paid over a lifetime, I think we'd all have heart attacks on the spot. All right? But they don't tell you that number. You never know what it is. You keep going. After 12 months, you're earning about 9,000 Rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 Rand annually that you're creating for yourself in recurring income. What could you do with the extra 100,000 Rand at the end of the year? Pay a bond. There we go. That's responsible. We keep going. 24 months, you got to about 30,000 Rand a month. After 36 months, you are close to 50,000 Rand a month. Here's an example of month 30 of someone with a 5 million Rand bond. You put that 36,000 Rand as an additional payment into a 5 million Rand bond, you'll pay a 5 million Rand house off in less than 7 years. So I always picture myself in this position. I'm 40 years old. If I'm in this position where I'm earning an extra 36,000 Rand from DuePoint, put the money boringly into my bond, pay my first house off at the age of 47. Buy another house, pay the second house off at the age of 54. Buy a third house, pay the third house off by the age of 61. So when I'm ready to retire, I already have 15 million Rand in property assets, as opposed to just sitting back, enduring this economic environment that we all are, taking 20 years to pay my bond off, getting to retirement, finished paying the house off, and realize I can't afford to live in it. Because my salary is gone now, right? It requires a mature decision 20 years before the realization. You've got to decide now where you want to be in 20 years. And you need to start working now to achieve it. After 48 months, you're close to 70,000 Rand a month. After 60 months, 5 short years, you've created for yourself about R1 million in recurring income. Does anyone even believe that? Huh? Are you skeptical? Are you thinking R1 million a year? There's no ways I'll get to that. But you didn't like the 2,500 Rand to begin with. Right? It was too little. So I lost you somewhere in the middle. So this is purely academic. This is just theory. It's a growth model that the accountants came up with to give an idea of what kind of growth you can expect out of the returns that we pay you. You can do a lot less. We've got many people that, like I said, join, don't do anything. They're part of the 0 plus 0 club. That's what I call them. And they've got 0 returns at the end of the month. But you can do more than 3 plus 2. If you want to do more than 3 plus 2, bringing in one person every 2 weeks. If you want to do more than that, if you want more than 2,500 Rand after 6 months, guess who makes that decision? You or me? You guys. The accountability lies with you always. And we've got wealth engineers doing way more than 3 plus 2. And we love to showcase them because they are shining examples of what's possible regardless of who they are. These aren't special individuals I'm going to show you. We've got all kinds of people doing this business. So yes, Safiso is from Joburg. I think we've got a lot of Joburgers this month. Joined at the end of April. By May, he was earning 715 Rand. Right? So within 30 days, he created for himself 715 Rand recurring income. June, July. Another 60 days later, he was on nearly 4,000 Rand a month. And this month in September, and we're only halfway through September, he's already created for himself 10,000 Rand in returns on the debit orders that we're going to be debiting off his channel of distribution this month. We've got Reinald and Rumbi. Also middle of April that they joined. By May, 1,500 Rand. By July, 5,000 Rand a month. How much money do you have to have in an investment to earn 5,000 Rand interest a month off of it? Think to the retirement slide. How much money did you have to have in your investment to pay yourself 5,000 Rand a month? In 90 days, they produced R1 million investment for themselves in the space of 90 days. But we made the mistake, right, of thinking, what can I spend on 5,000 Rand? And that's how we think. We keep thinking like consumers, like spenders. 10,000 Rand in September. Ruler van Marsha, they've been with us since day one, since the day we launched this division, so last year, February. They achieved in our rewards program, ranked 10, so they got an extra 50,000 Rand 2 months ago. So in July, they got an SMS saying 75,000 Rand has been deposited into your account from your flexi time job that you're doing when you feel like it. Have you noticed how everyone's income increases every month? Do you think they've got to work harder every month to increase their income? No. That's the beauty of this business. You are building an asset. If the asset's value goes up, you get a greater return. We're not selling time here. You're not working on your own efforts. This is the beauty of recurring income and leverage. This is why we're doing this. You want to be in a position in 3-5 years' time where you've got a sustainable enough channel, which means a channel that doesn't require your efforts to keep running, right? And that takes time. That takes 3 to 5 years to do. But you'll be in a position where you can take 3 months holiday and go travel through Europe, and DuePoint will pay you every single month while you're on holiday. That's where we want to be. Not in employment begging for 19 days leave a year. What happens if you ask your boss for 3 months leave? He prints out a resignation letter and says, there, sign that. You can take as much leave as you want. Right? We've got hundreds of wealth engineers, and we pay more and more wealth engineers every single month in this business. This business is growing when the rest of the country is shrinking. The accountability lies with you. You decide how much money you want out of this business. It starts with that. It starts with goal setting. You read any leadership book. It starts with goal setting. What is your goal? 2,500 rand a month? 5,000 rand a month? What do you want? 100,000 rand a month? Start with a goal and figure out how to get there. You could be happy with just an extra 500 rand a month. There's nothing wrong with that. But decide what you want and figure out a way to get there. The second way to earn as a wealth engineer is through our rewards program. So the rewards program works like this. You become a wealth engineer and you start behaving like a normal wealth engineer and doing all these wealth engineer activities like coming to presentations, bringing guests to the presentation, logging to the dashboard, watching our training videos, and we give you something called XP when you do that, right? It stands for experience points. It indicates to us how active you are. And if your business is growing at the same time, you will start to rank up in our rewards program. So if you join this afternoon, you start out at rank 0, right? So you're not on the screen because you're not important yet. But very quickly you can get to rank 1 because you only need 1,000 XP. You need 4 products in your qualified channel, which you can do in 24 hours. You get to rank 1, we'll pay you an extra 55 Rand at the end of the month. But as you start to rank up in this rewards program, the rewards get bigger and better. Can you see? 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 50,000 Rand. That's the one that Marsha and Roelof got to a couple of months ago. We give our wealth engineers tools that help them build their businesses more effectively and faster. So here's Patrick and Pumi with their rank 5 USB drive that we give all our rank 5s. It's got all our video collateral on there. That little device plugs into everything. Tablets, phones, TVs, laptops, computers. Plugs into anything. Android, Apple, Banana, it doesn't matter what the device is. It plugs into it. And Patrick and Pumi can show people the DuePoint opportunity to regardless of what device is around them. At rank 7, we spent 12,500 Rand on manufacturing business cards for you. 1,000 cards in your name. There's no ink on these cards. The cards are gilded on the edges and foiled on top of the logo in gold. They're 4 times thicker than any other business card and they feel like suede to the touch. This business relies on first impressions. When you go out and you speak to someone about DuePoint, which they've probably never heard of before, you put a 25,000 or a 12,500 Rand business card in their hand, suddenly your credibility goes up and they'll give you a little more time to explain what DuePoint's all about. At rank 9, we take our wealth engineers and their families, business class flights, for a 7-day international conference to a 5-star luxury resort. Not once, you come with us every single year with your family. Think about that for a second. Business class flights to a 5-star luxury resort every single year for the rest of your life. This is where we're going at the end of the year. This is available to everyone in the room. So that happens every year for our rank 9s. We've had individuals get to rank 9 in 5 months. From 0 to not even heard of DuePoint to rank 9 in 5 months. You can take 5 years. There's no time limit on our rewards program. At rank 11, we spend R250,000 on a brand new car and give it to our wealth engineers. No T's and C's attached. The car is yours. No debit order at the end of the month. It is easy to get excited about these rewards, but you have to get excited for rank 1 first. The 55 Rand has to excite you. And the behavior is exactly the same at rank 9 as it is at rank 1. If you can get to rank 1, you can get to any rank. The behavior is exactly the same. So this is our rewards program. It goes to rank 20. We've already designed to rank 28. This is rank 11. But you don't get to rank 28 in 3 months. You've got to be thinking 20 years, 25 years. Is this something that you can commit to for that long? We've got another benefit for our wealth engineers. So third way to benefit as wealth engineers through our wealth quests. This is a challenge that we issue to our wealth engineers every month. Every month it's different. This month, September, is called Expand Your Empire. We challenge you to go find 2 new wealth engineers in separate provinces other than the province you live in. We want you to expand your empire, in other words. If you can assist them and support them in becoming qualified, and if everyone pays for their products in the month of September, you will have a brand new iPhone in your hands by the end of next month. Okay. We're going to ask the question, how does DuePoint afford all of this? It's fairly basic. Our business model works like this. Traditional insurance companies like Prime Meridian down the road engage in a lot of marketing and advertising for client acquisition. Spend a lot of money there. DuePoint doesn't do any marketing and advertising. Don't spend a cent on it. You won't see our logo anywhere outside this building. We rely on our wealth engineers to go tell people about DuePoint and what we're all about. So instead of spending the billions that the insurance industry spends annually on marketing and advertising, we take that portion of our premium and we pay it to our wealth engineers in the form of these returns and rewards that we've just looked at. Okay. We've got 3 products here at DuePoint. The products are all financial in nature. The benefit is financial in nature. You can look at taking out 1 product or all 3 products. It's completely up to you. The first product is called the Access Wealth Plan. It is 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand will go into a tax-free investment account in your name. It's not a notice or a fixed deposit. It's completely flexible. You can draw your investment out at any stage. It takes about 72 hours to process from an admin point of view. The investment sits with Sanlam. On top of the investment, we've got a second aspect of the product, and that is our Constantia personal accident policy. This policy has got cover to the value of 110,000 Rand in the event of accidental death. So this is Access Wealth. This is our investment product. Product number 2 is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is purely an insurance product. For 274 Rand a month, you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. So again, the personal accident cover works like this. It only pays out in the event of death through accident. It doesn't cover you in the event of, it's not like life insurance. It doesn't cover you in the event of disease or natural causes. Right? The point of that is that we can offer this product to anyone over the age of 18 without having to profile their risk. Right? So the premium remains the same, regardless of your age. You can be 70 years old, you can be diabetic. Your premium doesn't go up, it stays at 274, and the amount of cover that you get remains the same. So this is our insurance product called Wealth Guard. Product number 3 is called Wealth Points, the Wealth Points Buyers Club program, 274 Rand a month. This product aims to save us money on the money that we're spending every month anyway. So for 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with a list of partners that you see over there, right? So how much money are you spending on groceries every month? Too much. We've got a whole list of retailers there. There you can see ShopRite Checkers, Hershey's, Yuppie Chef, Take A Lot, right? So from 2.5% to 5% discounts on your entire spend every time. As often as you want to go shopping there, you'll get 2.5% to 5% discount on those retailers. We've got a data partner always on that. We've just signed on. 36 Rand for a gig of data. That's a third of their usual price. We've got the entertainer, 1.3 million Rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers that gives you access to restaurants, hotels around the world, live events, luxury spas. It's an awesome product, runs off your phone. We've got Eagle Ford. We're always listing or adding new partners to this program. If you're looking for immediate benefit out of our 3 products, this is the one to have because there's immediate benefit on that. I remind you of the support that you get as a wealth engineer. Plug into the support here. We heard from our wealth engineers last night, and the one lady stood up and she said, I made the mistake of not engaging with DuePoint enough. I thought I could do the business on my own. I'd been involved in similar businesses, or what she thought were similar businesses in the past. She made the mistake, many mistakes. And her advice to everybody was find out what the support is and plug into that support, because everything that we do here is to support you, right? So lean into the support. What is the decision we're making today? Really, it's a very simple decision. Are you willing to sacrifice time and build up a business that you have ownership in? That's as simple as that. That's the decision we're making. Are you tired of hearing about the economy, tired about your employer? Maybe you don't even like your boss, maybe you don't even like your colleagues. This is a step closer to that freedom, right? This is the opportunity. But like we said, we won't lie to you. The success doesn't come easy. You have to be willing to partake in what every business owner partakes in. And that's the downside of entrepreneurship. That's the sacrifice, the hard work, getting through the frustration, not giving up, and being strategic in your success. It doesn't happen on its own. If you listen to the wealth engineers that we interviewed last night, the one guy was great. He rolled out his entire strategy, how he meets his team every week, his goals, long-term and short-term, how he strategizes towards them. You have to treat this like a normal business like that. But the upside is waiting for you. You want 2 SMSs at the end of the month instead of 20. You want to get to retirement, part of the 2%, not the 98%. You want to know what the value of wealth and assets is all about instead of just relying on income. That's the decision we're making today. We make joining very easy. We've got free Wi-Fi for everyone to get onto. With these iPads in the breakout room, if you've got your own smartphone or tablet on you, jump onto our website, go to the homepage, click on the big blue apply button. It takes 7 minutes to get through the application form. You're a wealth engineer in 7 minutes. You're the CEO. You can go get the CEO business cards printed for yourself. But you can start building value in this asset from today. From today. That's how quick it happens. We've got merchandise. It's not a profit center for us. Please consider getting business cards. There's 500 business cards available for you. The pricing is on the counter. The merchandise is on display in the cabinet. If you don't want to use data, buy the USB stick. It's got our videos on the USB stick, and you can share them. They even work in TVs nowadays. So take a look at the merchandise. On Monday is a public holiday called Heritage Day, where everyone sits at home and braais. What do you think entrepreneurs do on holidays? Business. Business doesn't sleep, right? It is your opportunity to go out and build your business. So on Heritage Day, we recognize that fact. We will do 2 presentations on Heritage Day that you can bring guests to get plugged in, watch through the live stream, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock at midday. Make sure you make the most out of Heritage Day. Not for your tummy, for your business. Someone said to me, do we get free chops when we come on Heritage Day? No. Those are your chops you get to enjoy later after the presentations. There's none available at our head office. We're going down to East London on the 7th of October. Again, use this to your advantage. You want to start channels, businesses outside of Gauteng. So for the people in the live stream, you might be in KZN or wherever you are. If you know anyone in the Eastern Cape, make sure they get to this presentation, to the 2 presentations that we're doing in East London on the 7th of October. Use it to your advantage. Build your business outside of where you are. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. All our videos are on there. We've got about 500 videos. There's so much knowledge on that YouTube channel. It's been categorized for everybody along a time frame. Go look at the YouTube videos. Subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time we do a live stream, every time a new video is available. And then once you become a wealth engineer, make sure you download the mobile app onto your smartphone, because the mobile app will tell you exactly what is happening in your business in real time. Right? Guys, we're done. I thank you for your patience and your time with our couple of issues we had when we started out. If you have any questions, come speak to me. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the week. Rank 1 by Friday. See you on Heritage Day. Thank you. So there's a number of ways to expose yourself to presentations. We live stream every event on YouTube around the country. So even though there were about 40 people sitting in the audience, we have 300 people that watch the live stream. Yeah, so you can say to them, there's live streams at our event times at 12 o'clock on Friday, Wednesday, 6:30 every evening, Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. The presentations are all on the YouTube channel, so they can view any of those presentations at any stage. You can also buy the USB stick if you want. Those have our video presentations on there. Yeah, so those are 3 ways to come into it. 3 products: investment, insurance, savings. Not savings or discounts. Yeah. But it only caters for death through accident. Death through accident, that's And the investment is a tax-free investment that gets invested into a fund that suddenly gets managed on an active basis. So there's no promised interest rate. You're not putting money into a savings account. You're almost buying a stock. Right? So if you invest in a stock, that stock's going to do this. Right? So we in an investment fund, the investment fund does this. Everything. There's no waiting period on the insurance. The moment your premium's paid, you want cover. Yeah, so anyone who's outside of South Africa, as long as you've got some form of identification, and you need to for South African bank account. Only 2 criteria. Yes, passport. Great card. Thanks so much. Good luck.